Good morning, everyone. Just Rochelle White, Amonike Folashade. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful week. Caroline Shorunke, Bosefaya Jola, Daniel Atsenga, Justin Mayo, Ladi Shorunke, Pearl David, Oluwatoyin Bidemi, Obi Ojimadu, Shout Smith, Mayowa, Adiola Disu, Emmy Bobby, Shigon Wafo, Anastasia, McDonald, Shola Olapade, Adeabu Adeni, Princess Juliet, Joy Akanomu, Mashu Esong, Henry Oko, Oluwafunilayo Dina, Albentine. Well, I would like to encourage you people to go ahead and share the link to this message. Let's go share the link. And as you do that, we will begin to, please go share the link. Once you have shared the link, let's begin this week's teaching. It's a new week, a new day, and we're going to be talking on a new topic. And the topic is raising up godly children. Raising up godly children. So if you have shared the link, I will start today by giving you what I call the laws of raising up godly children. The laws of raising up godly children. So if you are ready and you have shared the link, then here we are. Let's go. So we are going stage by stage, right? We have dealt with understanding men and their psychology. We have dealt with the difference between men and women. We have dealt with getting married for men and the women. We have dealt with the psychology of the woman, the man. We have dealt with fatherhood and the consequences of going on without father. We have gone a long way. And now we have dealt with what the men would like to know about women, what the women would like to know about men. We are doing well. I think almost 2 months talking about the topic of family. And now we are getting to the children. Maybe this might be the week. Maybe after this week I might end this topic, and next week might be another one, because then it's New Year, so I might start with another topic that will help us get ready for the New Year. But before then, I think I will end. This week will be the final culmination of the series I've been doing on family. But we have really gone a long way with this series on family. We've really gone a long way. So the topic of today, like I said, is the laws of raising up a godly child, or laws of raising up godly children. Number one thing you want to know about raising up godly children is that children upbringing is not. It's not a spontaneous thing. It's not a spontaneous thing. Most parents don't know that when it comes to raising up godly children, they have to be intentional and they have to be purposeful. They have to be purposeful, intentional, and systematic. But most parents, they don't do that. What most parents do to raise up their children, what we call upbringing or raising up children, is what I call chaotic. Just chaotic screams and shouts of orders and rules and regulations. So these are just, emotional outbursts rather than upbringing. To really raise up a child or to really raise up children, you need to be purposeful about it. Let me tell you now. Let me tell you what that means. Like how do you? I think you understand this. What most parents do raising up their children is mainly to, be shouting to the child, "Oh, don't do that. Do what did I tell? Don't do that. Why are you doing that? I told you not to do that." No, beat them, smack them. Why are you doing that? Go there. Don't go there. Go there. Stop. Sit down there. Come and greet your father. Go and greet your brother. Go and greet uncle. Say hello. Good morning. This. And when the child does something wrong, you beat them and shout, "What are you doing? Come and help mama. Bring this thing. Bring that." Just chaotic, unorganized, unorderly, emotional, instinctive, and ordering and giving out of orders, but no real intentional, systematic approach to raising up children. By the way, if you look at the comments that are coming in, you see 2 comments from me, two from my page. One is talking about HMT. For those of you who still want to come to HMT as fast as possible, you might be able to come to one in January. In January 2nd to 6th. And then for those of you who want to spread the invitation for people to come here and watch this program, that's the other link there. So anyway, that model of raising up children that we have is counterproductive. That is not raising up children. That is not intentional way of raising up a child. You don't raise up children just by, occasionally giving out instructions or shouting to or even talking nicely to them. What to do or what not to do. You don't raise up children just by giving out instruction to them when they are wrong or when they are right or when they are supposed to be corrected or when they are supposed to be told what to be done. That is not the ideal way to raise up children. So if you want to raise up godly children that their lives will be predictable, you also have to be predictable. You have to be intentional in your actions. You have to be purposeful in what you are in that process. So instead of doing all the shouting and screaming at a child, instead of doing that reactional upbringing of a child, instead of just doing the emotional thing, I think the best way to try to raise up children is to be purposeful about it. The way I've done it in our family is this. Between the ages of 0 to 3, I think the woman plays a more important role because the baby is very small before the age of 3. Either she's being breastfed, or is being under the care of the mother. But even at that, a father must play a role from the very first day of the birth of the child. When your husband, your wife, first of all, let's start from the very moment of birth. I wanted to give you the laws, right? I wanted to start with the laws, but right now let's leave the laws apart. I'm going to come to the laws maybe in the evening, because now I think I must give you general instructions first. So the general instruction, let me just give you these general principles. We'll come to the laws, okay? Because I will deal with the topic thoroughly. It's going to be all week, so don't worry about that. We'll deal with that. But I think I should give you the fundamentals, and the fundamental of that raising up a child. It has to start with even the pregnancy, with when the baby was in the stomach. In the stomach of the mother. So what is the role of a father? Because we know what the role of a mother is. The role of a mother is that she gets pregnant and she has the baby inside. So what should a father do, or what should the parents do to make sure that they take the best care of that child, of that baby? Number one, when you discover that your wife is pregnant, the first thing to do is to rejoice with her, because sometimes children suffer rejection, and that rejection at times could have started from when the baby is in the womb. So for your child not to suffer that sort of rejection when the baby is still in the womb, you need to respond and pass a message to that baby why the baby just appeared in the body of your wife. So when a man hears about the report of pregnancy of his wife, the best reaction that will be healthy for the baby is that of joy. So the father and the mother must rejoice at the appearance of that child. And the father especially must congratulate the mother, must give her the word of support. And I'm going to tell you what that means. I think I need help. Pastor Natasha, I will need you to help me here. I'm going to play a role here. So let's say this is your wife here. Yeah. Yeah. So, you have to be behind like that, yeah, so that you'll be able to appear. Yeah. So let's say this your wife here, this is the husband, this is the wife. So your wife gets pregnant. You must tell her and express gratitude to her, and tell her warmly. You must give her warmth and tell her that you are very happy at the pregnancy, that she became pregnant. You must express your excitement. You must express your protection to her. You must give the woman assurance and tell her that this pregnant, it is your heart desire. This pregnancy, it is, what you are waiting for. It is a joy. It is a joyful thing, both for her and for you and for the child. You must put your hand on the stomach of the woman, pray for that child, and release the blessing of a father upon that child. And you must pray for her also, for your wife also, for her, and to give her assurance that, God is going to protect her, that you are asking God to protect her, you are asking God's blessing upon her. The woman is better under the protection of the husband's prayer. The husband's prayer is acting for her as a covering. That husband's prayer is acting as a protection over her, and it's also giving her assurance that my husband has accepted this child. My husband has accepted me. My husband has accepted the baby in my stomach. So she is comforted. And apart from that, you need to hug her. You need to embrace her. You need to show to her that, you are for her, that you are with her, that we are in this together. It's not just her, she who is pregnant. We are pregnant together. It's not your pregnancy, it's our pregnancy. It's not how is your pregnancy, it is how is our pregnancy. It's not my wife is pregnant. No, it's we are pregnant. It's not that my wife is expecting a child. No, we are expecting a child. It is we. So you associate yourself with her. You as a husband, let her always find out from her 5 times a day. When she's pregnant, 5 to 10 times a day. You must find out, how are you doing, princess? No, whatever you call her, honey, princess. How are you doing? How is the baby? Let me touch her. That touching, the process of touching has to go in all the time. That is the very first time you realize that your husband, no, your wife is pregnant. You must start by this kind of attitude. That is one. Number two, after you discover that she is about maybe 1 month or 2 months or 3 months pregnancy, not later than 3 months. In the first 3 months, you must make sure that she does not carry. The first 3 months is very crucial. The first 2 weeks and the first 3 months, she must make sure that she doesn't do heavy work. And make sure, as the husband, you have to make sure that she does not do heavy work. You have to make sure that she's not carrying any heavy load, and she's not bending down to carry load or to have anything that demands pressure from her. So you protect her and guard her and make sure you carry things for her. You help her do some of the things that she needs to do. Then by 3 months when she's 3 months pregnant, you must make sure that you register with a doctor or for maternity oversight. So maybe make sure that you go to the hospital and register with the hospital or the doctor that is going to be responsible for the delivery. So all that attitude to the pregnancy, the attitude to your wife, it shows acceptance. It shows that you have accepted her. It shows that you have covered her. It shows that that baby in the stomach is feeling that acceptance. That baby in the stomach is feeling that love. So you are transferring the spirit of love to that child that is inside that baby. You are laying the foundation of acceptance. You are laying the foundation of warmth. You are laying the foundation of fatherhood. You are laying the foundation of covering. You are laying the foundation of being a pillar. You are laying the foundation of being the foundation for that child. You are giving that woman peace, because let's say you've not accepted your wife, or you just say, oh, you got pregnant, we don't have money, this is your pregnancy, wow, and you did not give her that comfort, she'll begin to be nervous. Every little thing makes a woman to be nervous. Every little thing makes a woman to be concerned. Every little thing makes a woman to be afraid and nervous and angry and things like that. So irritated. So instead of if you just leave her like that, that irritation that she's having and that nervousness that she's having, that that unsettlement that she's having is being transferred to the baby inside her. If she's experiencing fear all the time, that fear is being transferred to the baby. If she's experiencing, irritation, lack of peace, lack of protection, lack of security, lack of protection, that all her feelings are being transferred to that child. So that is why you, as the husband, you must put her under such a protection, or under such security, such that she's not, stressed up at all, and no negative thing is being transferred to that child. And that's why I always tell women that don't ever marry a poor man. If you have a choice, of course, but most especially if you are living in modern world here in Europe or something like that, don't marry a poor man. But even if you marry a poor man, no matter how poor he is, make sure that you don't go to be pregnant unless the conditions are right. So before you get pregnant, make sure that you have a car. You must have a car before you get pregnant, because I can't imagine my wife being pregnant and she's now, carrying that stomach, and she has to be struggling for transportation at the bus stop or the metro, underground, or or in the bus, or that, anything could happen when a woman pregnant. I think that if any man really loves his wife, if she's pregnant, even if she's 1 day pregnant, even if she is not visible, I think if you are a caring man, it is only natural for you to make sure that she doesn't go in public transport. It is only natural for you to make sure that she has extra protection. It is only natural for you to guide her, to safeguard her, to watch over her, to protect her, to put your arms around her, and to make sure, to tell her that, princess, you are not going, that transport anymore. You are, can you imagine she could fall down? She could be pushed. Anybody could, so she has the minimum thing you could do is to give her a car, is to make sure that she has a car, and somebody is there to either, if you don't have a driver, at least you have the car. But I can't imagine her going to public transport with stomach. What about if the stomach becomes 6 months, 5 months, and she has to, you say, oh, other women are doing it. Let other women do it, but not my wife. That is what I would say. Let any other woman, do anything they want, treat their wives anyhow they want. But if you say you love that woman, if you say that woman is, you are concerned for her, for her well-being, for you have feelings for her, give her the insulation, give her the protection, give her as much care as you can. So that is one thing. Next thing you have to do, from 3 months, you must make sure that she has a medical oversight. From 3 months, she has to have medical oversight. So she is going to see a doctor every month, and not just herself. Don't just send her there. Go and see the doctor. I've arranged it. No. You must make sure that you go with her every time to see the doctor. Make sure that you take her by your hand, you put her in the car, and you say, let's go and see a doctor. She might say, oh, I'm feeling fine, everything is okay, no problem. No, let's go. Let the doctors tell us if everything is okay, if everything is not okay. That's one thing. That's another thing that you have to do. So every month, between the age of, between 3 months pregnancy to the time she delivers, she must be under the oversight of a nurse or a maternity worker or of a doctor, somebody who will be there eventually to deliver the baby. All right. So that's one thing. Then the next thing you have to do all these things, not just about your wife. All these things is about the baby that is coming. You are transferring your love to that child that is still in your wife's womb. So the next thing you have to do is to take your wife, and by the time she is just maybe from that 3 months pregnancy, you begin to go take her and begin to do shopping together, because she needs to begin to wear another size of dress. She needs to begin to look for new dresses, new clothes for her to buy. So you have to be going with her to order, to buy new clothes together. Apart from buying new clothes, you have to also go to her to the shop to do shopping for all the things for the children. You have to buy the cot, or what do you call it? Is it the cot? The bicycle, the little bicycle where you put the baby. You have to buy the clothes that you are expecting. If there are some clothes, children clothes that are universal. When they are born, for the first 3 months, you can still wear universal something for them. So begin to buy, some things for the baby. When you might need to also prepare your home, put everything in the house in order. Maybe prepare a different room or a separate room that is going to be like a baby's room. Then when you are like 6 months pregnant. When you are like 6 months pregnant, and the next thing you have to do is you have to go and you have to go for this is what I would recommend, at least. Maybe it's not available where you are, but if you're a real man and you really care for your wife and you really care for your children, I would like to recommend you to go for a separate class. In any country, there should be classes. If they are not in your country, you have to start it. You have to go to a class where they do consultation for husband and wife on how to give birth without stress, or how to give birth. No, it's not possible to give birth without stress, of course, with little stress, with much support. So it's a class on how husbands can help their wives during labor. So it's a class on how husband can help. So from 6 months you have to begin. There are different consultations and there are different classes. So you have to be going to to the consultation. How you as the prenatal classes? Yes, it's prenatal classes. So these prenatal classes, don't just allow the woman herself to go. You have to go there with her to support her. Don't say other men are not going with their wives. I have to go to work. No, make time for your wife. Make time that you make her your priority. Make sure that she's your priority. Your wife, your child is your priority. Your wife is your priority. Go with her to those prenatal classes and take all the considerations seriously and make sure that you are showing your wife that you are showing leadership. It is in a time like this, for that 9 months of pregnancy, that a man must show leadership. You must demonstrate leadership to your wife. Show her that even if you are slow before, or even if you are lethargic before, or you are kind of holding back before, but now that you are committed, that this is your priority, this is your family, and that there is nothing like it for you. So you want to commit your time and everything there. And then when the pregnancy becomes big, and she's now, like, let's say 7 months pregnant, or 8 months pregnant, or 9 months pregnant, it becomes difficult for your wife to begin to wear her shoes by herself. Can you imagine somebody is pregnant like that? To be bending down to wear her shoes is tough for her. So, if you're a really caring husband, one thing that you have to try to do is to make it a principle that you will be wearing her shoes for her. So, especially when she needs to go out and she needs to wear shoes, so you need to wear a shoe for her. If you are a real husband, if you are a real caring husband, so I know that a lot of people will say, well, why should I do that? I'm a man. Why should I be wearing shoes for my wife? If she's pregnant, she's at a weak point in her life at that time. She's she's vulnerable at that time. She is she's in need. She's in need of your support. She's in need of your care. She needs you to be there for her. And for her to bend down, you don't want her to lose that pregnancy because there was nobody there to wear the shoe for her. So make sure that you are there. Let her sit down, and when she sits down, put the shoe on her legs and help her lace it. That's one thing. Secondly, another thing that you have to try to do most of the time for her is to help her. If you are here in a country like Europe, where we're with the cold weather and everything, you need to help her carry a coat, and then you need to help her wear that coat. I've been talking about winter coat and things like that. Apart from that, you need to help her open the door to the car. You need to help her open the door to the house, open the door to the car. Make sure she doesn't carry heavy things. Make sure she does not carry heavy load, and make sure you are always there with her. Now, that is to some extent. Now, if you are working and you know that you are busy as a husband and you are working, there is no time for you to do all that, then make sure that once your wife, if you cannot do all these things personally, but make sure that once your wife gets pregnant, you immediately employ, maybe not the first 3 months, but after 4 or 5 months, you want to immediately employ. But there are some cases when women, even from the very first month, they begin to have nausea feeling, and they begin to feel bad. They cannot eat anything. They cannot go to the kitchen. And if that is the situation with your wife, make sure that immediately she gets pregnant, you get a maid for her, or you get a help for her, or you get a mother or a parent or somebody, or your mother or your sister, or somebody who is free enough to be there with her to assist her to do all the things that she would normally do at home. So when your wife is pregnant, you want to spoil her with care. You want to care for her so much that she will be spoiled for good. You want to tell her. You want to prevent her from cooking. You want to prevent her from washing. You want to prevent her from doing any of the physical work. You want to just care for her. Just let her be cared for and taken care of. So that's why you must have some, you could, if you have money, employ somebody or bring somebody from the family to be there for her, to help her do all the cooking, the laundry, the washing, and all those things. So that will relieve her from a lot of things. And then that other person also will have to go for her to the market and to the shop to do shopping also, if you will not be there. Because if you are working, you might not be able to do all these things I'm saying. You might not be able to have the work the time away from your work, maybe to be going with her to the hospital or to the shop or to all the things that you need to do. Then get somebody to do it for her. Don't just leave your wife with the pregnancy, to be doing everything by herself, running up and down, and still have to cook, still have to go to the kitchen, still have to do that, everything. Make sure that you save her from that time. Even if you are not such a nice husband, at least be nice to her during the time of pregnancy. At least at this particular time, make sure that you are kind to her, that you are nice to her, and that you are tender to her enough for her to feel that change and to feel that difference. So, thank you, Pastor Martin. Well, let me see some of the things that you people are writing. Those are just some little things that you have to do before the pregnancy. Because talking about raising godly children, it starts with that support that you have for your wife during pregnancy. And maybe I will need to talk about how to help your wife during delivery. Do I need to talk about that? I think I need to ask you. Let me ask you the question. Maybe I should talk about how to support the woman during delivery, during labor and during delivery, before we begin to now talk about how to raise up the children. Well, you let me know. Or I should just go ahead and talk about the raising of the children. Because if I just go ahead and talk about the children, that is putting more emphasis on the fact that the child itself is more important than the mother who is giving birth to that child. If I only talk about, how to raise up children, and I don't talk about what affects the raising up of that child, and the raising up of that child, what affects it is how you relate to the woman, how do you attend to the woman, how you raise the woman. Maria said African men don't attend labor and delivery. We have to change that. That has to change as fast as possible. So if you people need me to talk about that, maybe that's what I would do in the evening. Okay. Anyway, let me see some of the things you people are writing here. Ushe Amadi said, talk about everything, sir. Justin said, do it. Harmonic as a pastor, you are a genius. Most men don't do all these things you have said. God bless you again for this teaching. Nikki Christian said, Pastor, the very first day I got pregnant, my husband and I are pregnant together, and throughout, because on bed rest due to my history and advice of my doctor, I was on bed, okay. Sandra says, every man should be encouraged to be in the labor room with their wives, right? Shola Olapade said, thank you, sir, and everyone. If you did or accept a child immediately on conception, can you still correct it during the pregnancy? If you didn't, okay, can the rejection be cured? Yeah, I will talk about that later. We'll talk about that. Yeah, but it could be cured, yes. Shioma said, please talk about how to support the woman during delivery. Okay, all of you want me to talk about that. Sunday Aware said a lot of sense in what Pastor has said, but on the issue of not marrying a poor man or buying a car, I don't fully agree. Yeah, you don't have to agree. Just explain that to your wife. I wonder who is the woman that will marry you. But if she agrees to marry you and live like that, it's her choice. But I will not advise any woman to marry a poor man that will not be able to buy a car for her when she's pregnant, or when, at least for the family. It's not a compulsory, it's not a law, but that's what I would do. I'm talking about myself and what I would recommend to people who want to listen. Shegun Fatuma said, it was a great feeling for me as I was there throughout the pregnancy stages for my wife, for all our kids. Being present in the delivery room is what every man should experience. You will appreciate the woman more. Yeah. Jomani Doris, Pastor, what about women who fake sicknesses and get so lazy in pregnancy just to get attention, sir? That is very good for that. If a woman is faking sickness and laziness during pregnancy, that means she is in need of it. She will not fake it if she doesn't need it. If she is faking that pregnancy and laziness and saying she needs attention, it means she never had enough attention when she was not pregnant. It means pregnancy now is our own opportunity to be cared for. Can you imagine for a woman to now have to fake sickness so that she will get attention? It means that she never had that attention. It means she's dying for attention. It means she's hungry for attention. It means, yes, she has to do it. If I were, I'm her pastor, I would tell her to fake it, to do anything she needs to do to get all the attention she needs to get. She needs to get that attention because she will need it during the pregnancy and during childbirth, because she would definitely need it. She will need all the attention she needs. So if she needs to fake it or not fake it, when she's pregnant, whether she's faking it or not faking it, you have to give it to her. Sandra said, when my husband is not around to help me with my shoes, my older children help me out. It was an awesome experience. Yeah, thank God you had at least these children out there to help. Nkiru said, a pastor once said, the Holy Spirit said not to go to the labor room with the wife. What a crap. Well, people just use any kind of excuse. Paul says, if there is shame in you lacing your pregnant wife's shoes, that shows that you are a premature mistake for a man. Rubbish. Only a child in a man's clothing would make such excuse. Yeah. Especially when she's carrying your baby. Okay, Gregory is asking, Pastor, what about if the husband is not around when the wife is pregnant? Well, that is one thing that every man, that's why pregnancy must not be by accident. It is my belief that pregnancy shouldn't be by accident. There's some pregnancy that could be by accident, but even when the pregnancy has happened, a man should still make plans. That's why pregnancy and the process of pregnancy, the time of pregnancy, the process of delivery, all those things shouldn't be accidental. All these things shouldn't be chaotic. You should not just live your life for chance. You should just not live your family for chance or for chaos, or just make everything happen the way it happens. So when you know that your wife is pregnant, make arrangements. If you happen to be outside, or you are not in the country, or you are not around, make sure that you have a help there ready for her and with her to help her most of the time. But personally, I don't believe in a wife being pregnant and the husband is not there. I don't believe in that at all. I believe that the time of pregnancy is the most trying time in the life of a woman. And I don't buy into the idea of the man living in another country while your wife is in another country struggling with the pregnancy by herself. I don't buy into that at all. I believe that a man has to be there during the time of the pregnancy for the wife. Now, he could travel once in a while, or he could be away for a week or two, maybe maximum a month, but most of the other times he has to be around. Pastor Omonika said, most of the African men I know don't do all these things you are saying, even the Christians. Thanks for this teaching. Maybe young generation will be able to do it. This could only happen if a man is caring, loving, and kind. That is Omonika saying that. Darlene Madu says, some women cause it for themselves just because they want to get pregnant. I have a friend, she was pregnant and she was alone, not with the father of our unborn baby, so I was helping her sometimes. One day, this lady fell from a staircase. Jesus. Pregnant woman fell from a staircase. Rochelle White says, this teaching is super powerful. Never taught so practically like this before. You see, that situation, that case of that pregnant woman falling down from the staircase is one of the reasons I was telling you that the man must be there with the wife. And the man must be there with the wife. Hold her, by the hand, give her support, be there for her. Help her do all the things that, she does not have to do by herself. Agape Maji Yagbe said, preach it, Pastor. It is not an easy task or feeling to be pregnant for one day, not to talk of standing in the bus stop waiting for bus as a pregnant woman. Paul David, very true, Pastor. Many males are so ignorant. They prepare to meet the child before he can begin to bond with the child. Rejecting a pregnancy is rejecting a child, whether or not the child knows it. That child was brewed in rejection, and there is a huge difference. On another note, many have aborted children based on male's rejection or lukewarm reaction. Fola Shade said, Pastor, your type is very few in this world. There are just about two, maybe there are just about two of you in the whole world. Oluwa Fumilayo say, thank you, Pastor. You are so in-depth. This revolution is for singles, brothers, and young couples. The caller K said, rejection spirit is a major issue that needs to be dealt with by the parents through what the parents manifest. Parents' attitude and in the way they talk and relate to their children after the children come to life. Showman say, Pastor, please do share everything you know about this topic. Men don't really understand what pregnancy is all about. They see it as what every woman has to go through, and yours is not new. Nellie Brown, I think the fall was an accident. The husband will still have to go to work when the wife is pregnant and can't always be there. Yeah, that is what you want as a woman. Good. But if I'm a woman, I would rather prefer the one that, even if he needs to go to work, but he will still have a help for me. Anastasia, Pastor, every time you teach, you reveal more and more of the Father's heart. And we are learning to be like him. Much respect to you, sir. Noel Okoshuku, when my wife is pregnant and I'm not around her, I'm always worried. I'm not a superman, neither am I a super rich guy, but my wife's need is my zeal. Very good, you see. He said he's not a superman, he's not rich, but, he puts his wife as priority because he loves the wife. Gift Amos, many African men are the way they are for lack of sound teaching. Churches are not helping matters. I thank God for Pastor Sunday's teaching this. Lola Shorunke, yes, my husband refused me to work and did a lot of the housework. Yeah, that's another thing. When a wife is pregnant, for me, I think if my wife is pregnant, I don't want her to go to work. And I think that is what real men are supposed to do. Even if the government they don't have maternity leave for the women that are pregnant, but you as the husband, you must be able to provide that kind of leave for your wife. You must be able to tell your wife from the very first month she's pregnant, from the very first month, maybe from the second, very latest, maybe from the third, she must stop working. For me, I think she has to stop working from the very first month, and and you have to work extra time if necessary. But not when she's already pregnant, but you are supposed to work before she got pregnant. Extra time to make sure you have enough savings for the pregnant time. And, personally, I don't think that the wife should be working to provide 50% of the needs of the family and the husband 50%, or to be contributing so much to the... I think even before she got pregnant, if she was working before, that even if she had to work, that money she was making as a working woman, she should put on her own account only, apart for herself, so that when she becomes pregnant and she cannot work, she will have enough money to do whatever she needs to do apart from the money that you are giving to her. But personally, I think that my wife doesn't even need to work in the first place at all anyway. Either pregnant or she's not pregnant. But when she becomes pregnant, definitely she's not working. Definitely she's not working. So that is very good, Pastor Lola. Now, she said, my husband refused me to work and did not allow me to do a lot of the housework. Very good. Later in my pregnancy, he sent for my mother to come help us from Maryland to California to help us. She stayed from 1993 to 2005. They both spoiled me. Very good. That is how a real man should behave. That is what a real man should do. Pearl David, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Don't let your wearing a robe deny you the joy it is to assist your wife and seeing your child being born. Nikki Christian say women pregnancies are different from one stage of high risk complication to the other. I will share my story one day. Obi Ojimadu said pregnancy is a project. The man must make out time for the process. Brilliant. I like that. That is well said. Pregnancy must be treated as a project. That is well said. It's a project that must be planned for. Just like you want to do a business. If you want to do a business and you want that business to be profitable, you have to have business plan. You have to plan everything out. You have to plan what you want to do, what goods you want to buy, and everything. So also is with the business. It's with pregnancy. If you apply, you know, you must plan when you want to get pregnant, what month or what year, what time. I know it doesn't always work out the way you plan, but at least have some plan in place, and you know, plan the budget for it, plan the logistics. Make sure you plan the support system for your wife. Make sure you plan the physical needs, the material needs you will need, the finances you will need, the technical things you will need. You know, make sure that you actually approach marriage as a whole project, not just the pregnancy, even a whole marriage. Approach it as a project. You know, your marriage itself, you have to approach it as a project by studying, learning as much as you want to. Even before pregnancy, your husband and wife must sit down together and learn and study books on pregnancy, study books on how to expect a child, what to do when you are expecting a child, what to do before pregnancy, what to do during pregnancy, what to do, what a husband should do, what a wife should do. You must prepare for everything. Everything has to be prepared for, especially pregnancy. So before you even think of getting pregnant, make sure that you buy books on that topic. Make sure that you sit down together with your wife. Not just the wife reading books about childbearing. A husband also must be familiar with those books. Husbands also must read those books. Husbands also must prepare themselves. So it's not just a woman's duty. It is the family project. Both of you are giving birth, not just the woman's giving birth. Both the man and the woman, you are both giving birth together. So both of you are supposed to get prepared and do, go through the preparatory stage. Both of you are supposed to study books on that area and see and make sure that you help your wife to do all the preparatory things that she needs to do with her body, with her health, and with the house, and you put everything together before even the pregnancy comes. So yeah, pregnancy is a project and it must be treated as a project. Brilliant, well said. So Obi is saying pregnancy is a project. The man must make out time for the process. He has to be there. Yeah, because he was there to make the woman pregnant. He was there to impregnate. If you have to make time out for her to be pregnant, what kind of man are you? If you are making a woman to be pregnant, then not to be there when she will be carrying the burden of the pregnancy. He has to be there. He might be absent for a short period, but must make arrangement for someone to help with the wife. Excellent. You see, Obi is having the same mindset like I'm having, is thinking the same thing. And so you shouldn't say Pastor Sunday is just the only man like this. Even if I'm the only one like this, we have to make every other person become like this. We have to make the whole world become like this. We have to make the whole world know, what it means to be man. We don't just take what tradition has given unto us blindly. We don't just embrace what other men are doing or what the society around us are doing. We are supposed to bring the image of God into the picture. We are supposed to bring the picture of how God the Father sees things, how God would have acted, how Jesus would have acted in this situation. We are supposed to bring God's perspective into this. And God's perspective, God's nature is, can you imagine Jesus, when his friends, Mary and Martha, they were just friends with Jesus, and, they lost their brother. Jesus left everything he was doing. He traveled 4 days to get there. He went there to be with them, and the first thing he did when he got there and he saw that they were sad is to hug them and to cry with them. Jesus began to cry with them. Jesus was crying. Not that he couldn't raise up Lazarus. He knew he was going to raise him up. He knew she was going to rise from the dead. But, he also knew the psychology of the woman. He knows that the woman does not just need the solution immediately, and it's not the solution that he's supposed to bring right up like that. They need, first of all, emotional settlement. They need to be, comforted, first of all. They, first of all, need to be comforted. They needed to be, to be given understanding, and for apathy to be expressed to them. They needed to, he needed to express sympathy to them. So, he needed to give them that emotional understanding, that sympathy, that, express that apathy towards them, and that is what he did. So by crying, he's just showing them emotional solidarity. He's just showing that he's there with them. So if Jesus would be so sensitive about women, I'm sure that Jesus would have treated women better than even that I'm talking about right now. Just like when they wanted to stone the other woman that was caught in adultery, he stood between the woman and the people, the people, the assaulters, the people who wanted to assault her, and protected her. So Jesus has a special consideration for the woman. And if you call a woman your wife and you don't have that kind of understanding, that kind of consideration, it is troubling. It is deeply troubling. So, for example, this my brother that is saying, I agree with most of what Pastor Sunday is saying, but I don't agree with the fact that the family has to have a car, or the man has to be rich to be able to buy a car for the family. And I'm not going to be the one to live in your family. I have my own family. I'm okay. I'm telling you the best thing that is possible. I'm telling you how you could make your life better, how you could make the life of your wife better, how you could make the life of your children better. Yeah, I'm agreeing, I don't agree. Is it my life? It's your life. I'm not interested if you agree. If you don't agree, it's your choice. But I'm just telling you what you should strive for. Try to be better. Don't just be where life has put you. Don't just, agree with the non-entity that is around you, with what is happening around you. You put a goal before yourself. Target something better. Target a perfect goal. Put a goal, agenda. Put something in front of you. God will help you if you have the goal, if you have the willingness, the passion. If you are not saying, okay, I'm not going to accept this as, or I agree with this, or I don't agree. If that is better, if it's going to be good for your husband, for your wife, if it's going to be good for your child, if it's going to be good for your baby, why don't you put it as a target? Why don't you strive towards it? Yes, maybe you are not ready for it right now. Maybe you are not there now. Yeah, but you could put it as a target. Mashu Esong said, even though my husband cannot stand blood, but he was always there during pregnancy, during my delivery. This made a big difference. Beautiful. You see, even a man that couldn't stand blood, but he was still there during the pregnancy of delivery of the wife. Because that's what a man is supposed to do. A husband, that's what a husband is supposed to do. And I too cannot stand blood. I can't stand blood. But, if I have the opportunity to be there during my wife's pregnancy, I have to be there. Noel says, I wasn't compelled by any situation to treat my wife like a queen. You are compelled by situation. You are compelled as you are a child of God to treat her like a queen. And you are also compelled to treat her like a queen because she is a child of God. You are compelled to treat her like a queen because she is the daughter of God. And besides that, the Bible compels you to treat her like a king because 1 Peter 3:7 says that treat her with understanding as the co-heir of eternal life. That is, as a princess. Treat her as a princess, as a co-heir of eternal life, this daughter of the king. So that is compelling right there. So you are compelled to treat your wife as a king, as a queen, as a princess. That is scriptural to treat a woman as a princess. It is scriptural. It is not just Pastor Sunday's fantasy. This is scriptural. So Noel is saying, I wasn't compelled by any situation to treat my wife like a queen My wife has always been my zeal. So you are putting a medal on yourself by doing what you are supposed to do, no? You are putting a medal on yourself. You are praising your own self. You are making yourself look like a hero because you are doing elementary things that you are supposed to do. The fact that other people are not doing that, that doesn't mean that, the fact that you are doing it, you are beating yourself in the chest, or, I'm doing it to my wife. Now we have to listen to that, your wife. Maybe she's not even as rosy as it looks in your own eyes. Maybe you are not even doing enough yet. I don't disagree that you are doing your best, but, find out ways that you could do better. Find out things that you could do better. If you are going to be busy praising yourself all the time, you are doing this, you have done this, you are doing that, you will not find ways to improve what you are doing. So try to find new ways to even do much better for her. Gladys Nwosu said, pregnant is not a sickness. It's a natural thing to enjoy and be glad. No need to fake pregnancy, to fake pregnant. I never had an easy pregnancy, but I always stand to the last day when I believe I'm a strong man. I'm a strong woman. Yeah, well, you could have a better life if you have a husband that will be there for you. Caller Odetola said, I was there at the delivery of my children, and I thank God for this privilege. You see, so these are African men saying they were there, so which is okay. That's the way we're supposed to do. We're supposed to change that order that say men don't want to be there. They have to be there for their wives. Anastasia says, someone has designed a product which was experimented on fathers. Basically, an imitation of pregnancy is strapped around the father. Anytime the baby kicks, it is transmitted to the father. And what joy of the father's face. Deborah's call. That is affection, and it is to be given passionately to the woman, especially at the stage of life, which is between life and death moment. Yeah, the presence of what she's saying is the presence of the husband at the delivery is actually affection, passion, love that should be expressed to the woman at the very critical stage of her life, because during pregnancy she is between death and life. So it's always good to have a support there, to have support of your husband there. Scholar said, by the grace of God and mercy of God, I was there at the delivery of all my 4 children. I caught the cords myself by the grace of God. I delivered my 3rd child at home, and the support of God and the midwife arrived 15 minutes later. Wow, everything was right. Thank you, Pastor. I feel your passion. Brilliant, brilliant. Brilliant. Emmy Bobby said, in Thailand, I wanted to go into the labor room with my wife, but the doctors will not allow me. Yeah, that is a different case if the doctors will not allow you, but at least you are in the hospital there and you are supporting her. At least she knew that you wanted to be there. Pearl David says, ladies, watch your words and vocabulary, because being treated well by our men is not saying you are being spoiled. You are being spoiled. It is because we are delicate, we are women, because we are burdened by so much other things above each responsibilities. It takes 2 to be pregnant, to deliver and to raise a child. Ojo Pelumi said, awesome message. At least, even if there is no car in the family, there must be a taxi for the woman to ease her situation. Yes, at least. Unkiru said, my husband too was ready to go to the labor room with me, but he went to get something for a few minutes. Before he came back, I was done. Shioma is saying women go into postpartum depression because of the stress they go through during and after marriage. Yes, I will talk about that also when I'll be talking about pregnancy. Caller said it will be nice for men that did not give the necessary support during delivery to learn now and teach their children. Okay, then what I will do is that in the evening, I will probably talk about how to support your wife during pregnancy. No, during delivery. I think if you don't mind, if you are in agreement with that, I will probably come in the evening and talk about before I begin to talk about how to raise up the children. Let's talk about when the child is still in the pregnancy. That is also a child. So I think and how the child comes to the world. I think how the child comes to the world, how he's accepted in the world is also important. So I think maybe I should just do that tonight. I think I will do that in the evening. How to support your wife during pregnancy. During delivery. I will do that in the evening. And then after delivery, then we will start taking from there. What to do immediately after delivery, what to do immediately after coming back from the hospital. And, so that whole process until the child becomes grown up. I think that's what we will do. TY says, Pastor, there are millions of women married to men without cars. Not everyone can afford it. Oh, yes, I'm aware of that. But because there are millions of women who are married to men without cars, and there are millions of men who cannot afford a car, that does not mean we should make that our standard. That does not mean we should just reconcile with that and say that is what is good and that is what is normal. No, I believe that we should still put on the highest goal out there. We should still put out the highest aspiration out there for the men to aspire to something. Men have to have a goal. Men have to have an aspiration. Men have to have a target before themselves. Men have to strive and do their best. The fact that that is what is obtainable right now, especially in developing countries, I understand that. But I'm talking about in these Western countries, especially where car is no more a luxury. I think that is supposed to be a standard for husbands. Let them put goals before themselves. Let them have a higher target. Let them strive to want something, even in developing countries. Let them have a target. Let them have a goal. So to just say, okay, because there are women who are married. So there are women who walk about without clothes also. Then why don't you take off your clothes and walk in the street and say, okay, there are women in Africa who don't wear clothes. I will not wear clothes in Europe. Is that the way you want to live? Or you say, oh, there are women who are, there are millions of women who are single, who give birth without a husband. So is that what you want to do? So you also go and getting pregnant for anybody in the street or in the brothel and just be, saying because you want to carry a pregnancy? Is that the way you want to live your life? Because there are other women who are carrying pregnancy without a man? Of course, we all want to strive for the best. You should compare yourself to the best. You should strive for the best. You should look for the best. You should look for the best standard, the best example. Don't just settle for any mediocre situation. Sandra said, Pastor, you are just too real and your teachings are liberating. Thank you. Anastasia said, we cannot and should not repeat our parents' mistakes. So if our parents live like that, that doesn't mean that we have to live like that. Bidemi said, deep wisdom, you are full of wisdom. I honor you, sir. Esther Kuganjas that says, exactly, standards have to be raised, not to be reduced. She said, Pastor, perfect. We appreciate you so much. Anastasia says, there was such a sad situation, a true story posted on Facebook that happened in either Nigeria or Ghana. It was in Ghana. A woman pregnant with twin died outside the hospital because she didn't have the fees. You see, she didn't have the fees. As if it was not the human being who impregnated her. Somebody slept with that woman. Somebody is supposed to be responsible for those children. And someone will probably claim to be the father of those children later on. But they leave the woman alone to face the music, to face the challenge of pregnancy. Now, she did not just face that challenge alone for 9 months, carrying the pregnancy by herself. No care, no love, no protection, no security, nothing. Now she had to go and find the hospital by herself without a car, had to get there somehow with twins in her stomach. Then she got there, she cannot even enter because she couldn't pay for it. Because no husband to be there with her, no husband to work it out, no husband to pay for the hospital bill. She was all there alone. So she was left outside until she bled to death. And there is a man that did that. And you want to leave the man out of the picture? Sandra said, my husband was there throughout all the birth of my 4 children, and the bonding was awesome. Jagade Temitope said, is it possible for the man to be unavoidably absent physically for a period, but involved adequately in the process? Support is physical, emotional, and spiritual. Yes, I already said that in the beginning, that I don't believe in the husband not being there during the pregnancy of the wife. If he needed to be absent unavoidably, then he has to put all the support on ground. He has to make sure that he didn't plan to be absent, because if he needed to be absent, then he shouldn't plan the pregnancy for that period. But if he's not aware, or if he was not going to be aware that the pregnancy was coming and he had to travel, then that is different. But if he's aware, he shouldn't plan for himself to be absent while the wife alone is carrying the pregnancy. So it is better for him to plan to be around. But if it so happened that he cannot be around, he had to go, then he has to definitely plan for all the necessary help to be there for her. A car, maybe with a driver, a help, or a maid, or maybe with a relative to be there to support, or something like that. Nikki is asking, Nikki Christian, a fatherly advice: if a man tells you to abort a pregnancy because of financial reasons, tell him no, that he can kill the baby after it is born. You are not ready to have a graveyard in your tummy. Brilliant. When I read this on the internet, I wept. Wow. Tayo Stevens said, these are hard truth for men, sir. Keep it up. We rarely hear this from men. Thank you for becoming men's mentor. Well, I think someone has to speak about these things. Ladi Shorunka said, when we had our first baby, I was still doing my residency training, and I still had to find time to attend to all the needs of my pregnant wife, especially the cravings for special foods late at night. Vivian Taylor says, I was very blessed during my pregnancies. My husband was the best and was in the delivery room as well. My daughter, on the other hand, married an African man who punched her in the stomach while she was carrying his child. My God. We didn't find out till much later when wow. She's saying women need to speak out during abuse, especially when they are pregnant. Oh my God. Obio Jimadu said, our first child was very active in the womb. She would turn and kick for a long time. She always calmed down when I touched my wife's stomach and came close to sing or talk to the child. Wow. I was there from the onset, and she knew my voice. Wow. After her birth, my kids slept faster when I sang lullaby. Wow. For them. It got to the point where they preferred only me putting them to sleep. Brilliant. Wonderful. This created a strong bond between me and my kids till date. Brilliant. You see, that's a man talking right there. That's a real man right there. Ushe Amade is a single man here, and he's saying, wow, I didn't know that women go through so much. You see, these things need to be spoken about. Even men, single men don't even know. They are not aware that women go through these kind of things. Davida says, men, women, are you mothers, sisters, daughters, and aunties? When you treat your wife right, you are treating every other woman in your life right. We have been told to love one another as we love ourselves, right? Lara Shomoye said, in fact, some men just want to be called and told they have an hair all grown and already made. No work done, either at birth or while growing up. Well, that is exactly the reason I don't believe that I personally needed to go and look for the family of my father. You know, I've never met my father and I don't know him. Some people ask me sometimes, do you want to go and look for him? No, I don't want to. Why should I go and look for him now when I'm successful? For him to go and reap where he didn't sow? I've forgiven him. I love him. I thank God for him that at least God used him to bring me to this world. But why should I leave and abandon the family that brought me up, my mother's family, and go and be looking for somebody that never looked for me? I love them, if I'm sure they don't even recognize that it is me, that it is their son that did this work that is here. They are not looking for me. Why should I be going to bother myself to look for anybody? I should rather be showing love and gratitude to the family that received me. Shigon Nwafo said, I still wonder how we have missed it so much as a church. Even the so-called spiritual heads don't practice these things, not to talk of teaching it. No conversion of the word whatsoever. God bless you so much, Pastor, for getting into the nitty-gritty of the human life. This is simple spiritual common sense that is not common at all. Ekushel, thank you. So he speaks of Yoruba, right? Doris Ngere, men should take pastors' advice in good faith, but women, because men are there to look after us, doesn't mean we should make them do things that is not acceptable by God just to make us happy. Some men are in prison today because they were trying to impress a woman. Tayo says, Pastor, you need to hasten your return to Africa. Our value system is twisted. We need to start from there. Yep. I'm coming. John Lucky said, I was with my wife in the labor room. It was like I was the one doing all the pushing. May God bless women, really. Gift Amos said, I know of a girl here in Spain. Her husband brought her from Mali because they are Malians. This girl, 23 years old, was so naive. She doesn't even know she got pregnant, and she continued with a normal chores. She pounded yam with a naive style, and every other. She got stressed up until she got hospitalized and ended up losing the pregnancy and her womb after 3 years. And the man went and got married to another village girl. Wow. Nkiru says, Pastor Sunday once told of a story of a guy in the church who proposed to a girl in the church, and he was told to prove his intention. This man went back and built a big house and put every other thing there. If men hustle enough, they can do it. Yep. Sandra said, Pastor, you are just too real. Your teachings are liberating. God bless you now and always. Thank you. You know, guys, Monica said, Pastor Sunday, most men, African men that I know, don't help their wives during pregnancy. They are never there to do anything. I hope men would listen to your advice. God bless you, Pastor Sunday, for your teaching. Gift Amos. Stress during pregnancy has caused so many women damages. Some have gotten their wombs removed. Some have gone insane. And some have lost both their fallopian tube. Women have a lot of tragedy. Wow, because of pregnancy. T.Y. says, God says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. That is why we are perishing. Knowledge is the key. You see unbelievers doing exploits, and we are just praying. Well, let me see the time. Wow, my God. I didn't even notice that the time is gone. And I'm not even... Wow, anyway. I think we'll just continue tonight. I think I will have to talk about... how to take care of how to help your wife during delivery in the evening. I think I've got to talk about that, you know. I think the truth just have to be told. If you do not like, if you don't appreciate that, if you think that is off, a man shouldn't help the wife during pregnancy or during delivery, you don't have to respond. You don't have to be there. You don't have to come to hear me in the evening. But, you know, maybe it could be a blessing to somebody. So please, let's go and share the link. Let's go and share this link. Let's go and share the message. The message could be a blessing to somebody. Maybe somebody will be helped. Maybe somebody will be assisted with this message. So let's go share the message, please. God bless you guys. See you in the evening. Bye.